Today we're reviewing Secretlabs' top-of-the-line Nanogen edition of their Titan Evo chair, and we're going to be comparing that to my 4-year-old standard edition of that chair. The Nanogen edition brings a series of upgrades with it, as well as some really subtle differences that you'd only know if you were comparing these two chairs side by side. So with that said, let's jump straight into the review to see if the Nanogen edition is worth the additional investment. G'day guys, my name's Ben and welcome to the channel, and today we're reviewing Secretlabs' newest version of their Titan Evo chair, the Nanogen edition. And this particular model brings a suite of upgrades to it, including a better leatherette material, better armrests, more padding, and a few subtle upgrades that I'll cover when I compare it to the 2022 Titan Evo that I'm sitting on here. This is my 4-year-old Titan Evo chair that I've reviewed a bunch of times on this channel. Now, if you've been on my channel for a little while, you might be wondering why I'm upgrading my chairs. Now, I want to call out that my 6-year-old 2020 Titan chair is still going strong. Here's a quick clip of that just to show you. But for me, if you've been following the backgrounds behind me over the years, you've probably noticed I've sort of been evolving my desk setup, and after recently upgrading my setup with another Secretlab product, which I'm looking at now, the Secretlab Otto, which is their footrest or leg rest, I sort of started to feel that this cookies and cream color was sort of not suiting the environment that I've made. So I thought, after owning my original Secretlab for 6 years, it's done its time, it's going the distance, and I'm gonna try and sell that and move on to the new generation, which also means I have another opportunity to let you know how I feel about the new Nanogen chair. So the Nanogen edition comes with 4 major improvements that I'm going to cover here today, and the first one is probably that the leatherette material that you get is new and improved. It's more durable and only comes in either pure black or a pure white colorway. The second one is that they include a Nanogen foam layer over the top of the chair as well. This material adds extra padding onto the backrest and the bottom. You get heavy duty armrests, and more importantly, the magnetic pillow has also had an upgrade, which is a really big improvement. So we'll cover those in more detail now. The first one that I wanted to kind of talk about is the leatherette materials. So in this particular generation, Secretlab have improved the durability and longevity of the Nanogen material and now have made it 14 times stronger than their original leatherette material. And for me, this is the very first time that I've ever had to experience a leatherette material from Secretlab. And as someone who has worked in the automotive industry, I can definitely say that this really does have this really nice sort of nappa leather texture to it, and it does feel quite premium. Now, it is really worth calling out that while leatherette is not a genuine leather, that heaps of brands out there do use a leatherette material, all the way from BMW, Mercedes, down to your Toyotas and Subarus of the world. It is a very popular material in a lot of different industries. And when you consider that Secretlab's extendable warranties go for up to 5 years, I'm pretty confident that this chair is going to last at least 5+ years, especially when you think about that with my previous reviews that I've done on my channel, that these fabric chairs like my 2022 Titan here are still going the distance and look almost brand new after 4 or 6 years. Now, something that's actually helped reduce my resting heart rate as well is after 6 years with my fabric Secretlab chairs, I can finally go back to a leatherette chair where I don't need to stress about what I eat or consume near my desk. So finally, I can sip a cup of coffee without stressing about spilling it on the chair or anything like that. The leatherette material makes it super easy to clean, which is definitely something that I've appreciated after being through 6 years of paranoia trying to avoid cleaning the fabric chairs. Now, from a breathability perspective, I'm pretty impressed with the leatherette material as well. We're coming into summer down here in Australia at the moment, and we've had some hot days already, and while working at my desk, I haven't really gotten too hot or bothered on the leatherette chair. It seems to manage heat quite well. It isn't as good as the fabric chair that I'm sitting on here, of course. That's one of the benefits of fabric. But overall, I've been pretty impressed with how this has handled the temperature ranges that I've had while working. And if you're finding this video helpful, please think about liking and subscribing to the channel as well. And make sure you jump into that written description, because I might have forgotten something in this video that I've left in there. But I've also got links to the products, links to my other videos, and if you are watching on your TV, I'll pop up some QR codes which will take you to Secretlab's website as well if you want to know more on their website. The next major benefit is the Nanogen foam that Secretlab have added onto this chair, and effectively on the backrest and the base, they've added this additional soft padding on the top. Now I've got to say up front that the difference is subtle, but you especially notice it on the backrest, and especially if you have the lumbar support with their L-Adapt lumbar support system dialed up, where you really start to feel that pressure in your back. It's really hard to describe how that Nanogen foam feels, but I think what I would say is as you're sort of leaning into the chair, especially when you first sit down into it, you can sort of feel like this extra layer of padding just softly and gently support you as you sort of sink into the chair, especially on the backrest. Now on the base of the chair, Secretlab are known for their cold cured foam, and the cold cured foam experience is definitely still there today. If you're not a fan of the firm feeling that these chairs have, the difference is only subtle here. While you can feel a slight difference, it really is probably about 5 or maybe 10% more padding here. Where Secretlab have put extra padding is at the front of the Nanogen chair, whereas when you compare that to the fabric chair that I'm on here, you can really see that Secretlab have added additional padding to the front of the chair, and that's put a little bit more support right underneath the front of your legs, which feels totally fine from my perspective, but really I haven't noticed a major difference. Now I'm not sure if this is a benefit of the foam or not, but one thing that I've really noticed with the Nanogen chair as well is a lot of the real subtle and mechanical sensations and soft sounds that you would feel in the 2022 Titan Evo that I'm sitting on here seem to be completely gone in the Nanogen edition. So I'm not sure what Secretlab have done to improve the mechanics and sound that comes from this, which to me could come from a high density soft foam that they've added on the top. But overall, this chair is completely silent, so whatever they've done to improve that in addition to the padding goes a long way in making this chair feel more premium. Now the third improvement I want to talk about is the heavy duty armrest that they've included on the Nanogen edition, and if you do get up close and compare both side by side, you can see some visual differences in their design, although ultimately they look quite similar. The easiest way I could describe the differences with the heavy duty variant is you pretty much get maybe 10 to 15% more adjustability in the majority of the directions that you can dial these armrests into. So the armrest can go up or down a little bit further than you can on the standard model. You can also adjust a little bit further side to side. Now, if you've read a lot of things on the internet or in YouTube comments, you might see some people aren't a fan of the armrests and how they rattle a bit if you shake them around. Now to me, this isn't really a problem because I'm not rattling my armrest when I'm working. My arms are literally locked in place and it doesn't make any noise at all. But something that I have noticed with the heavy duty version on the Nanogen is that rattle and movement is much, much less. It is not completely removed, but it has come down a lot. Now what I've also noticed with the heavy duty armrests is the cloud swap armrests that you can attach onto it clip on with a little bit more grip. So with the 2022, the standard model that I have here, it's very easy to remove the top of the armrest off, whereas on the heavy duty, it just requires a little bit more force to remove and a little bit more force to put back on. But what I've found is if you do need to move the chair around your room, when you do sort of grab and yank onto the armrest to move it around, you're less likely to pull the armrest off, which is a good benefit as well. Now the fourth major benefit is the headrest pillow. Now, I've got to say, after coming from this standard Titan Evo chair for 4 years, and if you've watched any of my previous reviews, you'd know I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with those magnetic pillows. On this chair that I'm on right now, it is a bit of an inconsistent experience. The pillow does need to be frequently readjusted and is known for falling off. Effectively, the grip and the magnetic strength with the chair is just not as strong as it should be. What I immediately noticed with the Nanogen edition is this pillow sticks significantly stronger. And for me, I didn't think I'd appreciate that as much as I did, but I've been using this chair maybe 2 or 3 weeks now, and I haven't had this headrest fall off once. It has stayed exactly where I wanted it to be, and I've actually really appreciated that. I've found that if I can drop a can of soft drink onto the magnetic headrest here, it will hold that can up with confidence, whereas on the older model, it just does not do that. It does not have the strength to hold that can up. So a really good way to show some quality of life benefits by upgrading to the better chair. Now the chair does bring a lot of subtle improvements as well that aren't listed on the website, that I've only noticed by sort of comparing both of these chairs side by side. So if we start at the bottom of the chair, the first thing that you'll notice is the strut tower actually is a little bit higher off the ground. So you get a little bit more ground clearance with this chair as well. You also have a different strut cover that's very, very minor. And the actual chair legs themselves, the pieces that the wheels attach to, has a Secretlab logo etched into one of the arms. Then coming up to the chair levers, on the Nanogen, the levers just seem to grip just a little bit more. And what that actually means is they're not flapping around. They sort of hold into the position wherever you put them. And what that means is there's less sound generated when you're actually on or using the chair, once again enhancing that premium feel and experience. And then the seat base itself, as I mentioned, the front of the seat base on the Nanogen has more padding at the front, and that's provided a little bit more pressure and support for the front of your legs. Feels great, I don't have any issues with it. Now when we get to the base of the chair too, there are some really subtle differences with the plastics that they've used on the chair too. On the Nanogen, these just seem to feel a little bit more secure. Maybe they're a little bit thicker, but they're also like a matte black compared to a more of a glossy satin finish on the Titan Evo chair here. Secretlab also seem to have fixed potentially the problem with gapping at the bottom of the chair. So if you have read reviews of the older models of chair, a lot of people have reported that there's a bit of an uneven gap with the base of the chair. But with the Nanogen, I can't see that at all. And on the front or the back, it does seem to be quite standard and uniform. Now on the top of the chair, the Secretlab logos have sort of got this etched rubber stamp rather than the traditional stitching that they usually have. To me, I think it looks fine, it looks great. Otherwise, it's pure aesthetics, so just a bit of a difference there as well. And on the back of the chair, there is still the little NFC tag included that if you scan it with your phone, will confirm that this is a genuine Secretlab chair. So if you're ever selling that chair, you've got something baked into this chair to prove that it is a genuine, non-counterfeit item. Which personally, to me, I really don't see much value in because I'm buying these chairs to go the distance. So now that we've kind of run through the benefits of the Nanogen chair, I just wanted to also call out that the chair that I am comparing with is a day one edition of the Titan Evo range. I bought this the day it came out originally back in 2021, 2022. So this is 4 years old. And there is a chance that Secretlab have potentially made some iterative improvements on some of these features over that time as well. But for me, I can only compare this chair to this one 4 years on. So I guess the question is the Nanogen chair worth the additional investment? And from what I can see, depending on the colorway and the different country you're in, it looks like this chair is about $150 to $300 more expensive. Now the first thing to call out with the Nanogen edition is you get the plush cell armrests as standard. You do not have to purchase them as an additional optional accessory like with the standard range. So these plush cell armrests are about $100 in Australia, so you're getting $100 worth of additional value with the Nanogen edition. So if you are thinking of buying the plush cell armrests with the standard Titan Evo range, well suddenly you're even closer to that jump up to the Nanogen edition. And I'll have to say the plush cell armrests are absolutely worth it. These grey ones here, I think are like 3 years old and they still look fantastic as well. Here's a review on that if you want to know more. And I think if you can stretch your budget to get to the Nanogen edition, there is a lot of value here and probably represents the most premium model that you can get with the most premium experience. However, the Titan Evo edition, the standard model that I'm on here, is still a great chair. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. And if you've watched any of the other videos on my channel, I stand by everything that I've said on this chair. I'd also want to call out that the only way to get the fabric SoftWeave material is with the standard edition chair as well. So if you are chasing a material that has more confidence to last a long time and is more breathable, this is still your only option. And with that said, I'd love to see Secretlab find a way to make the Nanogen edition work with their SoftWeave materials. So take that as feedback, Secretlab, if you're watching. So with that recommendation, I think it's probably time to remind you to jump into that written description. Just in case I've forgotten to mention something in this video, it will be down in there. But also I've got links to the products, links to my other Secretlab reviews, and of course I'll pop those up as QR codes as well, just in case you want to look at them on the Secretlab website. Otherwise, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe if you found that helpful, and we'll see you around for the next video. Have a good one. Cheers.